The music was too loud, the lights too warm, and the clinking of glasses should have felt like victory. Instead, I kept wiping my sweaty palms against my jeans. "Relax, Ethan," Sophia whispered against my ear, her hand squeezing mine. "It's your night. Smile a little." "I'm trying," I muttered, forcing a laugh. I didn't expect so many people. I thought Oliver would just invite a few friends." Sophia grinned, radiant in a way that always made me believe she was my anchor. "This is your first book deal. You deserve a celebration." "Don't. Look so nervous. You've worked for this." I nodded, letting her words settle into me. She always knew how to calm me, or so I thought. When Daniel strode in, tall and confident as always, his arm slung around some girl I didn't recognize, I felt the tension in my chest ease. He spotted me across the room and shouted, "Ethan Cross, the man of the hour." Laughed as he pulled me into a rough hug. "Daniel, you made it." "Of course I did. Wouldn't miss my best friend's big break." He smirked, eyes glinting in a way I couldn't place. "You've been chasing this for years. About time someone noticed." "Thanks," I said softly. Sophia leaned closer to him than I expected, her hand brushing his arm as she added, "Ethan's worked harder than anyone. He deserves everything." Daniel chuckled, his voice low. "Yeah, he deserves everything." Something in the way they exchanged glances made my throat tighten, but I brushed it off. I wanted tonight to be about celebration, not paranoia. Hours passed. The party thinned. Oliver had left. Most guests were gone. My head spun from too much wine. I slipped outside for fresh air, but when I came back, Sophia was gone. "Seen Sophia?" I asked Daniel, who was leaning against the bar. He shrugged casually. "Bathroom, maybe." I searched the crowd, the hall, but she wasn't there. My chest tightened. I finally pushed open the door to one of the back rooms and froze. Her laugh. His voice. Their shadows tangled in the dim light. My stomach dropped. "What the hell?" Sophia gasped, pulling away. But Daniel didn't even flinch. He smirked, his shirt half unbuttoned, eyes daring me. "Ethan," she whispered, eyes wide. "It's not. Don't." I cut her off, my voice breaking. "Don't lie to me." I saw Daniel stretched, unbothered. "Relax, man. It's just one night. Don't be so dramatic." The words sliced deeper than any knife. One night. My voice shook. "You're my best friend. She's my—" I couldn't finish. My chest burned like fire. Sophia reached for me. "Ethan, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this too. Didn't mean—" I laughed bitterly, though it cracked halfway. "You didn't mean. You chose this. You chose him." Daniel stepped forward, smirking as if he owned the air between us. "You're overreacting. Things happen. Adults, move on. Move on." My vision blurred. "You took everything from—" "Me?" Sophia's voice cracked. "Please, Ethan. I love you, I swear. I was drunk. I don't." I snapped, my voice louder than I intended. Heads turned outside the doorway, whispers rising. "Don't you dare call this love." Daniel leaned closer, his breath reeking of whiskey. "Face it, Ethan. You're weak. You've always been weak." She knows it. Maybe that's why she came to me. The room spun. My fists clenched so hard I thought my nails would break skin. But I couldn't hit him. That would make me like him, dirty, empty. I looked at Sophia. She was crying, but I couldn't tell if it was regret or fear of being caught. "You ruined me," I whispered. "Both of you." Her hand trembled as she reached out. "Please," I stepped back. "Don't touch me." The party behind us buzzed louder, the whispers turning into laughter from those who thought this was just drama. My face burned, not from alcohol, but humiliation. Daniel's voice followed as I stumbled out. "It's just one night, Ethan, don't be so dramatic." The cold air outside hit my lungs like shards of glass. I kept walking, past the lights, past the music, past everything I thought I knew. My chest felt hollow, my body shaking, and all I could hear was his voice echoing in my head, mocking me, crushing me, breaking me into pieces I wasn't sure I could ever put back together. I didn't sleep that night. My hands shook so much I thought the glass would crack when I tried to drink water. The betrayal replayed in my head until sunrise. By morning, rage had taken over grief. I stormed into Sophia's apartment. She opened the door, her hair messy, eyes red. "Ethan," she whispered. "You shouldn't be here." I shoved past her. "Then where should I be, Sophia?" "Watching you and Daniel laugh behind my back again." She closed the door softly, avoiding my eyes. It was a mistake. I was drunk and he stopped. I cut her off, my voice sharp. "Don't you dare call it a mistake. You don't fall into someone's arms by accident." Her lips trembled. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "You didn't mean?" I laughed bitterly. "You knew exactly what you were doing. You looked me in the eye earlier that night and told me you loved me. Then you walked into that room with him." Tears slid down her cheeks. "I love you, Ethan. I swear I do. Please, don't let this destroy us." I slammed my fist against the table, making her flinch. "Destroy us. You already destroyed us. You shattered everything we had in one night." She tried to grab my hand. "We can fix it." I pulled away. "Fix it? With what?" "Secrets. Do you think I'll just forget the image of you kissing him, touching him, while I was outside believing you were mine?" Her voice cracked. "It didn't mean anything. He doesn't mean anything. Then why him?" My chest burned as the question escaped me. Why my best friend? Out of every man in the world, why did it have to be him? She broke down, sobbing. "I don't know. I was weak, angry, confused. I don't know." "You don't know?" I whispered my anger, giving way to something darker, hollower. "I know. I know you chose him because he isn't me. Because you wanted something I couldn't give." "That's not weakness, Sophia. That's betrayal." She fell silent, her sobs the only sound. I turned toward the door, but her voice stopped me. "Ethan, please." I'll cut him off. "I'll never see him again. Just give me another chance." I froze, gripping the handle so tightly my knuckles went white. My body wanted to believe her, to cling to the comfort of familiarity. But my mind screamed louder. "You think this is about Daniel?" I said slowly. "No, this is about you. About the way you looked at me last night, begging me to believe in you while you were already his." She whispered, almost too softly. "To hear, I still love you." I turned, staring at her. "If this is your love, Sophia, then I never want it again." The silence between us stretched, heavy and suffocating. Finally, I spoke the words that burned in my chest. "You've made your choice, and I've made mine. From this moment, you are nothing to me." Her face crumpled, but I didn't stay to watch. I walked out, the sound of her crying fading behind me. The hallway felt endless. My legs shook, my breath ragged, but I forced myself to keep moving. Every step felt like broken glass cutting in two. My chest on the street. The cold wind bit through my clothes, sharper than knives. My fists clenched, nails digging into my palms. I whispered to myself, voice hoarse, "Daniel Reed, you were my brother. You took everything, and I'll never forgive you." My heart thudded so hard it hurt. I wanted answers, but more than that, I wanted revenge. I wanted him to feel the same weight crushing me now, the bones breaking, the trust rotting. And as I walked into the gray morning, one truth seared into me. Daniel was no longer my friend. He was my enemy. By the third day, whispers had already poisoned the air around me. Friends who once cheered for me now exchanged smirks when I entered the room. At the cafe near my apartment, I slid into a corner seat, hoping for peace. The hum of voices was background noise until two I knew too well cut through. "Did you see his face?" Daniel's voice carried, sharp with mockery. Sophia giggled. He looked like a lost puppy. I almost felt bad. Almost, Daniel chuckled. Don't lie. You enjoyed it. It's always been so damn serious. It was time someone reminded him life isn't his tragic little book. My blood boiled. My fingers curled tight around the cup until it nearly cracked. I wanted to stand, scream, hit him, but I couldn't move. Their laughter echoed inside me louder than the cafe noise, louder than my own heartbeat. Sophia's voice softened, dripping with contempt. Do you think he'll ever get over it? Get over it. Daniel scoffed. He'll sulk, maybe. Write some sad poetry. That's all he's good for. The words stabbed deeper than the betrayal itself. I must have been shaking because a voice broke through my rage. Hey, are you okay? I blinked. A young woman stood near my table, a notepad in hand, her dark hair tied back, apron dusted with coffee stains. Her name tag read Maya. Yeah, I muttered, though my voice cracked. She frowned. Your cup's empty, but you're holding it like it's the only thing keeping you alive. I forced a weak laugh. Maybe it is. She tilted her head, studying me for a moment. Rough day. My chest heaved. More like a rough life. Her tone. Softened? Well, I'm good at listening. Sometimes strangers are safer than friends. The irony of that cut deep. I glanced back at the table where Daniel and Sophia sat. They were still laughing, oblivious to me. My stomach twisted. Maya followed my eyes, then looked back at me. She didn't ask questions, didn't pry. She just said, whoever they are, don't give them the power to break you in public. At least not here. Her words startled me, and if they already did, she shrugged gently. Then you stand up, leave with your pride, and let them wonder why you didn't collapse. I stared at her, caught off guard by the quiet strength in her voice. Why are you telling me this? She smiled faintly. Because you look like someone who needs to hear it. Something inside me steadied. I rose from my seat, my legs still. Weak, but my chest filled with something different, not despair. But defiance. As I walked past Daniel and Sophia's table, I caught Daniel's smirk. Ethan, he drawled, raising his cup in mock salute, still brooding. I met his gaze, for the first time since that night. My voice was calm, too calm. Enjoy your laughter while it lasts. Sophia shifted uneasily, but Daniel just laughed louder. See, it's trying to sound scary now. I didn't answer. I just walked out, the door slamming behind me. Outside, the cold air hit harder than before, but it didn't cut me down. For the first time since everything shattered, I felt something different burning inside me. Revenge, not wild, reckless rage, but a seed planted deep. Watered by their cruelty, waiting to grow. I whispered to myself, voice steady, I won't. Stay weak. Not anymore. If they want to laugh, I'll give them something to choke on. The sound of their mocking faded as I walked away. But Maya's quiet voice lingered in my head. Don't give them the power. For the first time. I listened. The nights bled together. Empty bottles stacked on my desk, the glow of my laptop screen, staring back at me like a cruel reminder. And my manuscript sat there unfinished. Okay, Maya's voice cut through the silence one evening when she stopped by after her shift. Ethan, when was the last time you slept? I rubbed my eyes. Oh, remember. She looked at the untouched pages. You're not writing? I can't, I muttered. Every time I try, all I see is them, laughing, whispering, touching. My words feel dead. Maya pulled a chair closer, then bleated out. If all you see is pain, put it on the page. I shook my head. What's the point? Nobody wants to read a man's breakdown. Wrong, she said firmly. People want truth. They want rawness. And you have it. Use it or drown in it. Her eyes didn't waver. For a moment, I almost believed her. The next morning, my phone buzzed with a call I didn't want to take. Oliver Grant's voice boomed the second I answered. Ethan, it's been weeks. Where's the manuscript? I'm working on it. I lied, staring at the blinking cursor. Working. Deadlines don't care about your moods, kid. You've got an advance, and I need pages. Do you want this career or not? I swallowed hard. I want it. Then prove it. Get me chapters by next week. No excuses. He hung up before I could reply. The silence after his call was heavier than my hangover. That evening, Maya returned. With 2 coffees. She set one in front of me, still staring at the blank screen. I exhaled sharply. Oliver's going to drop me if I don't deliver. Maybe he should. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maya's tone sharpened. Don't you dare say that. You've been cut open by betrayal and you're still here? That's strength. If you can survive that, you can write it. Her words rattled inside me. So you think I should just turn them into characters, make my suffering entertainment? She leaned in. No, make it your weapon. Every word is a blade. Every page a wound they'll never see, but you'll know exists. Her conviction stirred something in me. I turned back to the screen. My fingers hesitated, then pressed down. The first sentence came jagged, trembling but real. Then another. And another. And another. Maya watched silently, sipping her coffee. After an hour, she whispered, See? You're bleeding onto the page. That's the real you. I paused, staring at what I'd written, an opening scene of betrayal so vivid it made my chest ache. It hurts. Good, she said softly. If it hurts, it's honest. Days passed and I kept writing. Every insult Daniel threw, every look of pity from Sophia, I carved into my story. The silence that once suffocated me now pushed me. Forward. One night, after hours of typing, Maya called me out. You're changing. How so? I asked, eyes still on the screen. You're not drinking as much. You're not sitting in silence. You're fighting back. I leaned back in, my chair exhausted but alive. Maybe silence wasn't killing me. Maybe it was sharpening me. Maya smiled faintly. Exactly. When Oliver called again, his tone was different. Now, this is fire, Ethan. Raw, brutal, alive. Whatever you're channeling, don't stop. Readers will eat this up. Clenched the phone tighter. So I'm finally good enough. You were always good, Oliver replied. Now you're unforgettable. Keep going. This could make your career. After the call, I sat in silence. But this time, it wasn't empty. It was full of something new. Maya leaned against the wall, arms crossed. See? Your pain has power. I nodded slowly, whispering. To myself, Daniel and Sophia wanted to break me. But they only gave me fuel. The weight of silence no longer crushed MIT, carried me. And as my words poured onto the page, one thought hardened inside me. They would drown in their own poison while I rose from it. The book launched like a wound tearing open, and somehow people loved the blood. Oliver called. The morning reviews dropped. Ethan, you're not just published or a storm. Do you know what the critics are saying? I rubbed my temples. Probably that I'm insane. They're saying you're raw, fearless, unforgettable. Sales are climbing already. You're about to be a name. I laughed, bitter and disbelieving. A name built on pain. Oliver's voice sharpened. Pain sells. Don't question it. Stride the wave. He hung up before I could respond. By afternoon, my inbox flooded with invitations, panels, interviews, events. People who once dismissed me now wanted pieces of me. At the cafe, Maya set down my coffee with a grin. So, Mr. Famous Author, how does it feel? Surreal, I admitted. They cheer for me now, but they're the same people who whispered. When I was down, her smile faded. Then don't cheer back. Just keep moving. Before I could reply, a voice interrupted. Excuse me, Thin Cross. I turned. A woman with sharp eyes and a confident stride stood there, a recorder in hand. She introduced herself with a smile. Clara Hayes, the Literary Review. Mind if I steal a few minutes? I hesitated, then nodded. Sure, but don't expect a polite version of me. She laughed softly. That's exactly what I'm hoping for. She slid into the chair opposite me. Your novel, it reads like someone bleeding on the page. Was it inspired by real betrayal? Maya shot me a warning glance, but I answered anyway. Yes. Every word is a scar I didn't choose. Clara leaned forward. So there was someone specific behind it. I clenched my jaw. There was friend, a lover. Now they're neither. Her pen scratched quickly. Do you want them to read it? I want them to choke on it, I said flatly. Want them to feel every line burn. Maya whispered, Ethan, but Clara's eyes lit up. That's powerful, and your readers will sense the authenticity. I narrowed my gaze. Are you here to understand me or to use me? She smirked. Both. Honesty makes the best story. The interview ended with her promising, your words will reach far more ears than you expect. Later that week, headlines echoed everywhere. Ethan crossed the voice of betrayal. My face plastered magazines and blogs. Invitations came from people who once laughed at my struggles, at a party Oliver insisted I attend. One of those old friends approached me, grinning like nothing had happened. Ethan, man, incredible book. We all knew you had it in you. I met his eyes coldly. No, you didn't. But thanks for pretending now. He stammered, laughed awkwardly, and walked away. The taste of justice was sharp but unsatisfying. Later, Oliver leaned over with a glass of champagne. You're killing it, Ethan. But tell me, how does it feel to finally win? I stared at the bubbles rising in my glass. It feels like victory carved out of my ribs. Maya joined us, sensing my unease. Success doesn't heal wounds. It just makes the bleeding prettier. Her words stuck with me. A week later, gossip reached me from mutual acquaintances. Daniel had been demoted. His arrogance at work, his constant lateness, his temper was catching up to him. Sophia, once glowing at his side, was now seen storming out of restaurants. Arguments spilling into the streets. When I heard, I couldn't stop the smirk. So the great Daniel Reed isn't untouchable after all? Maya looked at me carefully. Does that make you happy? Yes, I admitted. Then after a pause, no, not enough. She frowned. Not enough. I clenched my fists. Watching them stumble isn't the same as watching them fall. I want Daniel to feel what I felt. Humiliation, betrayal, despair. Till then, this isn't justice. It's just the beginning. Maya's voice softened. Be careful, Ethan. Sometimes chasing their pain keeps yours alive. But I shook my head. No, this isn't just revenge anymore. It's survival. My words gave me a blade. And I'm going to use it. Clara's article hit the world like a stone-shattering glass. Betrayal turned into brilliance. Maya read aloud from her phone. Cross transforms pain into art, while those who tried to break him are exposed by the very strength they mocked. I leaned back, exhaling slowly. She really wrote that. She made you a symbol. Maya said softly, and Daniel. She painted him like a ghost of arrogance. I smirked. Good. Let him choke on my shadow. News spread quickly. Messages pinged my phone, non-stop congratulations from strangers, silence from those who mattered most. By midweek, rumors reached me. Daniel's lies at work had been unearthed. He'd claimed projects that weren't his, inflated numbers, blamed subordinates. The reckoning arrived in a boardroom. Eleanor, his icy boss, called him out in front of his team. I only heard details later from a mutual acquaintance. Eleanor didn't even raise her voice. The man told me over the phone. She just slid documents across the table and said, Mr. Reed, you're finished here. He tried to argue, but she stared at him like he was already gone. I whispered, perfect. Meanwhile, Sophia's charm cracked. Photos surfaced of her laughing at cruel jokes, gossiping behind friends' backs. Invitations dried up. The woman who thought she'd traded up found herself standing in corners, ignored. Maya noticed my quiet satisfaction. You don't even have to lift a finger, she said. Truth is doing the work for you. Truth is poison, I replied, and they drank it willingly. Days later, I was leaving a bookstore. Event when I heard his voice cut through the crowd. Ethan, I froze. Daniel pushed forward. His suit wrinkled, his eyes red-rimmed with sleepless rage. People recognized him instantly, whispers rippling like fire. He jabbed a finger at me. You think you won, don't you? You think that book makes you better than me? I didn't answer. He snarled louder. You're nothing without me. Nothing. You wrote your little sob story and turned people against me. Murmurs swelled. Phones came out, recording. Daniel's voice cracked as he shouted, You pathetic coward. Say something. I met his gaze and stayed silent. The silence thickened, heavier than any word I could have spoken. His face flushed red, his hands shaking. Answer me, he screamed, but his voice trembled like glass about to break. Maya stepped closer, whispering, Walk away. I turned without a word, leaving him shouting at air, his rage collapsing into pitiful echoes behind me. Later that night, Maya sat across from me, her eyes searching. You didn't even need revenge, Ethan. Your silence was enough. I poured a drink, staring into the glass. Silence cuts deeper than insults. It makes them hear themselves. She smiled faintly. Maybe you're learning to let go. I shook my head. Not yet. Watching them crumble isn't the end. It's only proof that karma works. But my heart, I touched my chest. It's still caged. I want him to feel what I felt. Lone, broken, worthless. Until then, silence is just the first cut. Maya's hand brushed mine gently. Then promise me one thing. What? Don't let their ruin become your ruin, too. Her. Words lingered soft as they were. Sharp. I didn't reply. The silence of my apartment was heavier than Daniel's screams had ever been. I stared at the ceiling, my pillow damp from another night's restless tears. I whispered to the dark, Why doesn't it stop? Why does it still hurt? My phone buzzed. A message from Maya. You're drinking again, aren't you? I sighed and called her. She answered instantly. Ethan, she said, firm but gentle. This has to end. End? My voice cracked. Daniel lost everything. Sophia's alone, the world knows their truth. But me? I let out a bitter laugh. I'm still broken. Where's my justice? Justice, she repeated. You don't want justice. You want them to feel your pain. But they won't. They can't. I clenched the phone. Then what was the point? The point, she said, was supposed to be healing. But you're not healing. You're haunting yourself. I sat up, staring at the empty glass on my desk. You think I'm turning into a ghost? You already are, she said softly. You write about life, but you live in shadows. Word you put on the page bleeds Daniel and Sophia. But where's you? I closed my eyes. I don't know who I am without the hurt. That's the problem, Maya said. You've built your identity on pain. If they vanish tomorrow, what would be left of you? Her words sliced deeper than Daniel's betrayal. I muttered, I wanted him to understand. Just once, to look at me and see what he did. To feel the loneliness that killed me every night. And he never will, Maya said firmly. You can burn his world, but you can't force him to see your ashes. I covered my face with my hand. Then what am I supposed to do? Just forgive? Forget? No, she said quickly. You don't have to forgive. You don't have to forget. But you do have to stop living as if revenge is your oxygen. The room blurred through my tears. I thought revenge would fill the hole. Revenge is salt water, she replied. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. I laughed weakly. That's poetic for a barista. I listened to two. Many writers complain over lattes, she teased. Then her tone softened. Ethan, I care about you. But I can't watch you disappear into this bitterness forever. Her voice trembled. and I realized she was afraid not of Daniel, not of Sophia, but of me. I whispered. You think I'm lost already? No, she said quickly, but I think you're standing on the edge, staring at the drop, convincing yourself it's the only way forward. Silence stretched. For once, it wasn't heavy with revenge, it was heavy with truth. I finally said I wanted him to cry the way I cried, to break the way I broke. Maya's reply was gentle, but merciless. He never loved you enough to break for you, and he never will. The words lodged in my chest. I wanted to argue, to scream, but all I managed was a choked. Then what do I do with this pain? Write it, she said. But this time, write you, not him, not her, you. I sat there, clutching the phone, listening to her breathing on the other end. For the first time, I understood. Daniel would never understand. Sophia would never. Regret and chasing their recognition was killing me faster than their betrayal ever had. I whispered. Maybe I really am a ghost. Then let's bring you back, Maya said. I didn't answer. I couldn't. But for the first time, I wanted to try. The pounding on my door shook me from half sleep. I checked the time past midnight. Ethan. Daniel's voice slurred, raw with desperation. Open the damn door. My chest tightened, but I didn't move. I let him pound again until his fists weakened. Finally, I unlocked the door. He stumbled inside, reeking of whiskey, his eyes bloodshot. She's gone, he rasped. Left me. I leaned against the frame, arms crossed. And why should that matter to me? Because his voice cracked. He grabbed my arm, shaking. You're the only one who'll listen. I've got nothing left, Ethan. Nothing. I've pulled free. You had everything when you betrayed me. I was stupid, he shouted, then crumpled against my wall. God, I was so stupid. She said I was enough, but I wasn't. She called me pathetic. She called me weak. The irony twisted in my chest. Those were your words for me once. He buried his face in his hands. I didn't mean them. His sobs broke the sentence. Oh, I thought I was winning. And now I'm crawling. Oh, crawling. Suits you, I said flatly. His head shot up. You don't get it? I loved her. I gave her everything. His voice shook, and she threw me away like trash. I stepped closer, my voice low. Welcome to my world. He blinked, tears spilling. So you're happy? Seeing me like this, stared at him, this man who once stood taller than me, smug with power, now slumped like a child. Happy? No, but satisfied. Yes, he grabbed. My wrist again, trembling. Please, Ethan, just forgive me. Say something that makes this pain stop. I yanked my hand back. You want comfort from the man you destroyed? Didn't know what I was doing, he screamed. I thought I was stronger. Thought he choked on the rest, collapsing onto his knees. Begging you. His sobs filled the hallway. My neighbors probably heard, but I didn't care. I crouched close enough for him to see the ice in my eyes. I whispered, This is the weight of my tears, Daniel. Now it's yours. The words froze him. His lips trembled, then he collapsed fully, cheek pressed to the floor. I stood unmoved and opened the door. Get out! He didn't move. Just lay there, broken. Finally, he dragged himself upright, stumbling into the night without another word. The door clicked shut. The silence afterward felt heavier than his screams. My phone buzzed. A new message. Sophia. Ethan, please, can we try again? I was wrong. My thumb hovered. My heart didn't even flinch. I blocked her number with a single tap. The screen went black. For the first time, so did my pity. Maya tapped her fingers against the cafe table, her eyes fixed on me. So, did you finish it? I slid the manuscript across to her. Every word she touched the cover, hesitating. This one feels different. It is, I said softly. It's not about them anymore. It's about me. She smiled faintly. That's what I've been waiting to hear. I leaned back, exhaling. The first book bled out of me, raw and sharp. This one, it's healing. Or maybe just proof I survived. Then it's more important than the first, she said. I tilted my head. You think survival is more valuable than revenge? Of course, she replied. Revenge burns quick. Survival builds forever. Her certainty steadied me. For months, I had measured my life against Daniel's collapse, Sophia's silence. But sitting here, I realized I no longer needed that scale. Maya tapped the manuscript. Again, what do you call it? Rebirth? Her lips curved. Fitting. I sipped my coffee, letting the warmth sink in. Clara already wants to publish it. Says people will cling to it even more than the first. That's right. Maya's tone grew playful. You've officially become the man people read to survive their own ghosts. I chuckled. It's funny. I thought I was writing just to survive. Mine. She leaned closer, and did you? I paused, my gaze falling to the window. Outside, the city moved on without me, cars honking, strangers laughing. Yes, I think I did. Later that night, I sat at my desk, the apartment quiet. I stared at my phone. Daniel hadn't called since the night he collapsed. Sophia's number remained blocked. The silence they left behind didn't ache any. Anymore, it felt like space I could finally breathe in. I whispered to the empty room. So, this is freedom. Maya's voice broke the quiet. She had slipped in without me noticing, talking to ghosts. Again, I smiled faintly, making sure they're really gone. She sat on the edge of my desk, and they are. Her hand brushed my shoulder. Good, then maybe you can stop haunting yourself too. Her words struck deeper than she knew. For months I had lived inside shadows, waiting for Daniel's misery or Sophia's regret to validate me. But tonight I felt something else released. Maya, I murmured, why did you stay? Through all of this. She shrugged lightly, 'cause I saw more than a man chasing revenge. I saw someone still searching for himself. And I wanted to be there when he found him. I looked up at her, meeting her gaze, and has he? Her smile was warm, steady. Ask yourself. I swallowed. Yes, I think he has. The next day, Clara called. Her voice carried excitement. The reviews for your first book just hit another wave. People are calling you a voice of resilience. But Ethan, this second one, Rebirth, it'll define you. Define? Me how? I asked, as the man who refused to be broken. Her words echoed after I hung up. Refused to be broken. I repeated them silently until they felt true. Weeks passed. Daniel disappeared from headlines, fired, forgotten. Sophia's name faded too, swallowed by her own choices. I no longer checked for updates. Their downfall no longer nourished me. It no longer mattered. Maya and I walked by the river one evening, the sky painted in soft gold. She nudged me. You're quiet, just thinking about them. I shook my head. No, about me. She looked pleased. Finally, I watched the ripples of the water. You know what I realized? What? That indifference is the real victory. Love and hate both tie me to them. But indifference, that's freedom. Maya slipped her arm through mine. Then you've won. At my book launch, the crowd roared with questions. Reporters leaned forward, pens ready. Ethan, what inspired Rebirth? One asked. I adjusted the mic. Pain, I admitted. But more importantly, what comes after pain? Another voice rose. Do you still think about the people who hurt you? I let silence hang before answering. No, not anymore. The murmurs rippled, cameras flashing. Maya, standing at the side, nodded approvingly. When the event ended, she joined me. You handled that perfectly. I meant it. I told her. I know, she said softly. That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling. The city hummed faintly outside. My chest felt lighter than it had in years. Maya whispered beside me, do you ever wonder what they'd think if they saw you now? I turned to her. I don't care. She laughed quietly. That's the right answer. I kissed her forehead, then closed my eyes. Hours later, I woke before dawn. The room was still, painted in blue shadow. I rose, walked to the mirror, and studied my reflection. The man staring back no longer looked like the boy Daniel mocked, or the fool Sophia betrayed. He looked steady, scarred, but alive. I whispered to the mirror, voice steady. The man who took my body for a night will suffer forever, but I will finally live. And for the first time, I believed it.